Guys, it's Lucas again, and today I'm going to, as I said yesterday, go in depth over my Honey Badger automatic stock. If we can get some better lighting over here. So first of all, it uses one of these buttons on the side, and then with the use of a Technic spring, it pops out. And then also because of that, the button automatically pushes back in when it reaches one of the two positions. The position is just like a one stud little gap in there. So one thing I'm happy I came up with is you only have to push the button in half a stud when the stud and the stock comes out. And you keep the button pushed down, you can take it all the way out. So you can see there's two positions. A lot of people, what they do is they take Technic bricks. That's what I like to call, see if I have one here. These kind of things, just longer. That means you do have more positions, but it looks really weird. But you have holes everywhere. So I mean, this is similar to my different usernames, MP5. Just mine is on the bottom, his was up top. It uses 4 little 2x2 hinge bricks for the sloping part. One thing I didn't mean to do, but does work because gun laws are weird. You can take off this butt plate, break it in half, take off these 2 tan jumper plates right here, attach a 1x4 in black and smooth, pop this together, and now you have a pistol. Because now this is technically a brace and not a stock. Because gun laws are weird. So I went through multiple iterations, but I figured out this was the best because it had the nice slanting effect and all that. The butt plate is fairly simple. It uses some of these, I don't know what they're called, but they're really handy. They're bow pieces, so they're allowed to get the funneling inward, almost kind of thing. And then the 2 jumper plates allow it to really easily click into the back. So this back piece is fairly standard, nothing too crazy. This is the part that was complicated. So it uses what Leica calls weapon barrels. That's this black thing, 3x3, attached to a bunch of Technic pieces and a Technic spring. So I'll open this up for you so you can see the mechanism on the inside. So first of all, it uses one of these Technic springs. I use extensive use of these. I use 2 of these. Well, actually, I used 3 of the springs. Although on 2 of them, I actually took the spring out. You can actually take the spring out of a Technic spring by bending it in half and then kind of bending it back. Then you can have access to it. That's what I used for the button on the side of the stock, which I'll go over in a bit, and also for the mag release. And then you can put them right back. It's quite handy because they're the diameter of a Technic axle. So that's what I use for my springs. And there's also a little guide piece right here to keep the spring from not going all over the place. And then this interferes right here with that. Now for the button system right here, I used another spring, but it was one of the yellow springs or red springs. So again, I just removed it. It's one of these heavier duty springs. And this right here is the button. The way I got the half button press is by using jumper plates. This means that when the button is in, it's only actually connecting halfway, and then when you push it in, it can go. One problem with Lego springs is that they jump all over the place, so I use this little rod here. So it goes in between the spring, so it kind of holds the spring in place. And then you can put the spring in. So at first I wanted to make the stock field strippable, but then it was kind of weak, so I had this pin attachment point on the back. And then also you need a triple jumper plate thing just to go over the back to hold in place. And then assembly is really easy. Pop this piece on, line that up, and then you can just click it back together. And then you can push the button in, and then you can just slide your stock in. It's very simple, pretty useful, and I might make it a 416, although everyone seems to be doing that ever since Kevin made one. So I might not do that. This is quite easily a compressible mechanism. If you take the spring out of the gray actual Technic spring, you can make a pretty small mechanism. This one just looked good for the honey badger. So I promised you I would give you a honey badger update, or not a honey badger update, cmmg mutant update. So the problem I've been having with this cmmg mutant is this magazine right here. It's still a very big work in progress. So I'll get over that in a bit. Right here I have my complete lower. It field strips like the real one. As I went over yesterday, it has this fire selector design. And if you push out the takedown pin here, you can pull this out. It's the same as my honey badger. Grip comes off. I had to do the Technic support just because it wasn't strong enough. Then you can take everything else out. The trigger mech, the magazine release, all that stuff. So that's my honey badger could do that. Just the video was getting a bit too long, so I didn't want to do that. So this right here is the prototype mag I have. I'll fill in all the gaps and it will be better. I like the look right now once the holes will be filled in. It just, the problem is the strength. It's really not that strong. I might have to scrap this design entirely and kind of go for what Kevin did in his AK-117. But this works, I guess. If I can't get this working, you won't have such a nice looking magazine. But I will do my best to make it look a bit like my honey badger magazine, where it's like Technic insides with system bricks on the outside. Anyway, if you have any solutions on how I can make this thing stronger, or if you just want to make me use Kevin's mechanism, feel free to let me know in the comments. It all depends. If I can get this magazine working soon, my video will be out in a week. The only other hard part will be adding a buffer tube. Just once I get the buffer tube figured out, I already have a stock mech I've used before. But it's mostly the magazine. Just since there's so little modification I had to do to my actual honey badger receiver set, I wanted to make the magazine really nice. But since it's so breakable, I don't know if it will work. The honey badger magazine was so much easier because it was only one bend. But this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bends, so it's a bit harder. Anyway, I've been jabbering on for a bit too long. My analytics are being really crap because you guys are going to leave the video before this time. But if you have stick around, thanks. Please subscribe, like, comment, whatever, you know the drill. And I'll see you in the next one.